Looking for something to read? Well, these are the books that I've written. Hop on down to the description to find the Amazon links for all 4 of them, and keep your eyes open for more in the future. With that said, on to the video. Well, here we are, halfway point, 4 episodes in out of a total of 8. I thought the 3rd episode was a bit of an improvement, but this one just went right back down into where the first 2 were, which is to say, it wasn't very good. One thing I want to address before I get too far into this. In the previous video, I commented that the storm in this series that's supposed to surround Skull Island appears to be missing. And people have said that it was visible in the first episode. I remember seeing the storm in like the very, very first shot, where, you know, you had the clouds light up a skull-like formation when the lightning flashed, but I mean, okay, I can understand that being there, but it doesn't really play any significant part in the rest of that episode. When you're on the island, I agree that you shouldn't be able to see it because the island is in the eye of the storm. That's understandable. The eye of a storm is like the calmest place you can possibly be. You can look up, you can see clear sky, there's just a wall of cloud around you where nothing is coming at you. It's the safest place you could possibly be. So not being able to see the storm once you're on the island, that I can understand. I'm just more confused about why we didn't see it before, because that's kind of a significant thing. Every other character we've seen arrive on that island arrived in a vehicle, in this particular version. These guys were shipwrecked, so they got there when their vessel was already down. They were washed up. They went through that storm with nothing but the clothes on their back. So that seems like an odd thing to sort of not include, but I don't know. It's a minor detail either way. I just wanted to mention that before we get into the meat of this episode. So I will say that Cap continues to be my favorite character. We finally learn why he's doing all of this cryptozoology stuff, because he saw something. While he was out on his boat, like years and years ago, he saw something in the water. This kind of tremendous sea creature. The blue glow might have initially led me to think it was a Godzilla Easter egg until he described it as being like a playful eel, so clearly it's something else. But he saw this thing, and it's just such a nice moment where you again see that wonder he has. And the way he describes it, like, there was the man I was before and the man I was after, and that's only happened to me one other time, when Charlie was born. He's just such an easy-to-like character. I wish the show was about him, because he feels like a much more likable protagonist. Even, like, after that one plant eats the woman, I guess we're calling her Doc, I mean, they have to kill it and get her out of there, and he just takes this moment to sort of comfort it as it's dying. Even though this thing just tried to kill someone he's trying to get to know, at least. It's like, I can't hate him. Cap is such a good character. I wouldn't say he's the most complex character, but he's a very likable character. And why aren't we following him? Why are we instead stuck with Charlie, Mike, Annie, and Dog? Most of this episode revolves around Charlie, Mike, and Annie with a little bug pit that Charlie fell into. And honestly, this is yet again another episode that makes me really not like Annie. Because the way she's behaving when Mike is trying to get her to save Charlie, she is just being a jerk. There's no other way around it. I mean, I could use stronger terminology, but I don't use curse words on this channel. Like, okay, the reason they give for her not sending Dog down to save Charlie is that Dog doesn't want to. So they're trying to put forward this idea that Dog is still a very willful creature who is not a pet per se. He won't always do what he's told. And I would believe that if it weren't for Annie's delivery, like, she's not even trying to convince him. Her delivery is really just, hey Dog, go down and save him. Nope, he doesn't want to. Like, if she were trying to be like, Dog, you have to get down there and save him. This is really important. And Dog was still like, and walking away. Then I might believe that Dog was being more willful, because it would sound like Annie actually cared. But even when Mike is saying, it's important, she just repeats, it's important. Nope, he doesn't want to. Like she's bored, like this whole thing is completely uninteresting to her. And then she has the audacity to say that she's a better friend to Charlie than Mike. Screw her. Screw her and her dog. She's just... Are we supposed to not like her? Is that the point? Are we supposed to not like Annie? Because if that is the goal, it's working. I don't get the sense that was the intention, but if that's what's happening. I just can't root for her after something like this. Not at all. They're trying to make her out to be this sort of cool 90s action girl, and it's not working. It is really not. I'm just not liking her. Her writing has been inconsistent up to this point. This is the episode where I can officially say I don't like her at all. And even if you want to argue that she's maybe a little bit awkward when it comes to interaction with other people, we get another example of that, because Doc is also being very kind of closed off and occasionally acting awkward when Cap is interacting with her. And she says at one point, look, I'm not good at social interaction, but even she is not quite detestable. Because you get a sense that, similar to Cap, she also has a sense of wonder to her when she's looking at all of these different things around her in this brand new environment. And I don't necessarily want to say she has more of a sense of whimsy, because, like, they're not children, although she does say in this episode she almost feels like she's a kid again. But even that allows us to get a bit more of an insight into the fact that she's not a bad person. She's not being closed off because she is just abrasive. She clearly has her reasons. They're still not stated yet. We don't really know what she's doing out here. We don't even know if these people are actually with Monarch or not at this point. But, I can't say that I hate Doc. I'm not sure what to make of her at this point. There are still some mysteries about her, but I'm not actively cringing every time I see her on screen. And I get the feeling that as Doc and Cap continue to interact with each other, we're going to get a bit more of a connection between them, and she's going to open up a bit more and reveal more of a genuine kind of person beneath there. Whereas Annie is just like, he can die or he cannot. Either way, I'm still the best friend ever, better than you, Mike, who's known him his whole life. That's just really bad writing. Really, really, really bad. I cannot stress enough how terrible that choice was. What else can I say that hasn't already been said? The bug that shows up as, I guess, this episode's main antagonist was kind of underused, really. Like, it doesn't even really do anything other than just walk towards the protagonists until Dog jumps down, not to save Charlie and Mike, but to save Annie, and chases it off. That's it. Kong kinda shows up, but it's a completely pointless appearance. We don't even really see him, and all he does is pull up a tree, which apparently explains why there are holes in this area, which is a detail that we actually did not need to know. It really makes no difference why there are holes here or not, because it's a primitive island where everything is dangerous and the terrain is unpredictable. Of course there are going to be holes there. We just automatically accept that at some point a character is going to step where they shouldn't and wind up in trouble. Having Kong's shadow loom over the area and then see a tree get uprooted is a completely superfluous detail. Did not need to be there. If they were gonna bring Kong back in, at least have him do something that's significant. I mean, his name was in the title of this episode, and he didn't contribute at all. At least with the previous episode, the Croc was the central figure of the cold open, even if he wasn't significant after that because he got eaten. So that was pointless. Then we have Cap explaining the Hollow Earth idea, which I guess could be significant if you haven't seen any previous MonsterVerse film, but if you have, then he's just explaining stuff we already know, because we've seen it in the movies. It doesn't really contribute all that much. And yeah, the episode then just ends with the promise that there's going to be some kind of event, that the plan to capture Annie and Dog again is going to be realized. Our two separate groups are finally going to wind up in the same place at the same time, and maybe at that point we'll get some more solid answers, or maybe they'll just continue padding out the episode and tease us with the prospect of answers at the very end of the next episode before revealing them later. But yeah, still not really digging this one. It really is the character writing, specifically how the most likable character and the character I feel like we should be following is a side character, whereas the three characters we are following are annoying and unlikable. That is not something that really appeals to me. So yeah. Also, I'm pretty sure that most of the other soldiers are dead because those vine snake things are going after them. If any of them survive, I will be surprised, but considering they're just faceless, nameless soldiers anyway, heck, the one that came over the radio was literally credited as Crybaby Soldier. But yeah, I'm still not feeling it. Also, this is the episode where the not great island line comes from, and even in context, it doesn't work. It's really painful to listen to. Someone got paid to write that. Well, anyway, on to episode 5, I guess. Till such time as we meet again, this is the Omni viewer signing off. Thank you all for watching. If you want to see us keep doing what we're doing, you might consider doing all the usual YouTube things, as well as hopping down to the description to find links to DeviantArt, Patreon, Twitter, and links for the different books in the Tales from the Omni Vault universe. Your support is naturally appreciated. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.